What do you do whenever you feel disconnected, distant from God? You feel like you've lost your passion for the things of God and you just feel stuck in your spiritual walk. Today, I want to show you how to get reconnected. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. My name is Allen Parr, and so I am so excited about our word today. Our word comes from the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verses 1 and 2. You know, it is very, very common at different times in our lives to feel disconnected from God. So I want to show you 4 simple steps that you can apply. And the first is to lay aside the weight. The author says, let us strip off every weight that slows us down. Now, normally this is something that is innocent, seemingly harmless, but it's something that diverts your attention away, something that drains you of your energy, and something that hinders you from experiencing that intimacy with God that you so desire. It could be a person, it could be a group of people, it could be that your schedule is so busy and packed with different things that you have no time to fit God in. Let me say a word right now to people who are serving in ministry. It is easy for us to confuse activity with intimacy. So we must always remember the principle that duty never replaces devotion. It could be that you're disappointed with God based on something that's going on in your life right now, or maybe in your past, that is blocking you from having intimacy with God. It could be your career, overtime. It could very well be social media. But whatever it is, identify whatever it is that is slowing you down and eliminate it and lay it aside. But the second thing that we must do if we want to create that intimacy with God is we have to eliminate the sin that is in our lives. The author said that we should lay aside especially that sin that so easily trips us up. You and I have some sin that's reoccurring in our lives. It creates guilt. And guilt creates separation from God. And so we wonder why we don't have that intimacy with God. It's because whenever we try to connect with God, we have to press through all of the guilt, all of the shame, all of the conviction, all of the clutter that's going on in our minds in order to connect with God. And it becomes increasingly more difficult to do so, particularly if we have a sin that's reoccurring again and again, because we find ourselves caught in a sin pattern where we are sinning and confessing, sinning and confessing. So if we want to develop intimacy with God, it starts with identifying the sin that's in our lives, eliminating it so that we can connect with God in the way that we so desire. So the third thing that we must do is we must walk in our purpose. The author says that we should run the race that God has marked out before us. One of the main reasons why so many Christians feel disconnected and distant from God is because God has marked out for you a specific purpose for your life, but whenever we don't walk in that purpose and live out that purpose, it creates an unrest within us because we're over here doing one thing, but deep down within us, we know that we have been created and called to do something completely different, which leads to us feeling disconnected from God. So if you are looking to discover your purpose, I want to encourage you to ask yourself these 3 very simple questions. First of all, what negative experiences has God allowed in my life that He can recycle to help somebody else? Second of all, what do I see happening in the world that is wrong that I long to make right? And then finally, what gifts and talents has other people affirmed in my life again and again? And so I want to encourage you to identify your purpose and walk it out and discover the intimacy that God intended for your life. The fourth and final thing that we must do if we desire intimacy with God is to focus on Jesus. The author said that we do this by keeping our eyes on Jesus. James said it this way. He said, God promises that if we would draw near to Him, that He would draw near to us. Saints, let me tell you, there is no shortcut to intimacy. If we desire intimacy with God, we have to do the very things that foster intimacy, which means consistent quiet time with God, prayer, fasting, worship, community with other believers. Remember the principle that good Christians meet with God whenever they can, whether it may be lunch, before they go to bed, in their car. But great Christians make an appointment with God every single day at the same time, making it a priority. And I trust that when you do this, you will undoubtedly experience an intimacy with God unlike anything that you've ever experienced before. If you've been encouraged by this video in any way and you feel like it'll help somebody else reestablish that connection with God, do me a favor and share it with a friend. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on The Beat.